Are you looking for clever ways to grow your business? Then you are in the right place. This is where you get a behind the scenes on what's working in marketing today. My name is Wilco Kreij and here's what I discovered. If I were to look back in my business, one of the most important things I've done or sort of figured out is how to deal with video, right? How to shoot video in a way that's engaging, converting and all of that. And one thing that really, I always believed from the start, and I knew from the start, is that your video needs to stand out in one way or another, because everyone is doing videos these days. It's not enough to just do video, but especially if you do, for example, a sales video or something like that, you need to make sure that the first second people watch it, they're gonna be like, yo, this is actually professional. This is good, right? And if you just do what everyone else is doing, it sort of becomes a blur. So in this video, I wanted to give you a behind the scenes on what I do to make sure my videos look good, or at least I think they look kind of good. Not this one though, because this video is actually shot on my iPhone, but my sales videos obviously are more important. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go up my studio, give you a behind the scenes, and I'll give you some good tips on how you can make your videos look awesome. So we are in the studio right now, and as you can see, there's a bunch of stuff right here. We got lights, we got a camera with where you can put an iPad here so that I can actually read from the screen. We got a television over there, so I can actually have a PowerPoint in the background, a whiteboard over here for instruction videos and whatnot. And we get actually more stuff, I got a slider, I got more lights, and if you're wondering what all these kind of things are, that's actually for the echo. There's a lot of echo in this room, so we stick up all these kind of things in the wall. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about something that is super easy to actually use. If I were to pick one thing, which is going to cost you a couple $100, but it makes all the difference, is this thing right here. Let me just show you. It's actually this thing right here, the lens. Because if you have the proper lens, and what I mean is that the proper lens, if you go on Amazon or whatever, you search for one that is f1.8. It's like the diaphragm. You don't need to know all the specifics, but basically it means, what it results into is that if you screw that on to your camera, if you have an SLR and you have f1.8, it makes it super easy to make the background blurry. And right away, not like right now I'm shooting a video, I'm shooting it on my iPhone, so I'm assuming I'm sharp, but the background is sharp as well, right? That's not, it doesn't stand out immediately. A lot of people are shooting videos like this, but for example, for a sales video, I wanna make sure it stands out. And the easiest thing to do is use a lens like that, f1.8, and that means that you can actually make the background very blurry. You could also do that if you have a zoom lens, right? But then it's kind of hard, because then you'll actually have to zoom all the way in and put your camera afar. So if you have a big room, you're maybe away for 4 or 5 meters from your camera. You zoom in all the way on your face and you have a lot of space in the background. It will also be, so anyway, that's too techy for now. But that single thing made all the difference, right? So that's the first thing I would highly recommend you to get, is a lens with an f1.8 to make sure the background is blurry. It makes it look super slick. Next thing is obviously audio. Right now, I'm using a small clip-on mic. It is from Rode. I'm not sure if you can see it because it's actually clipped onto my iPhone right now, which I'm using for recording. But it makes it easy as well to actually have good recording, because usually you're a couple of meters away from your camera and your camera's not going to pick up the best audio. So a clip-on mic, highly recommend it. If you are shooting from an iPhone, like I'm currently doing right now, you'll notice usually when you're walking, it's very shaky and whatnot. And right now I can actually move my arms and it's not as shaky, because I'm using what's called a DJI Osmo Mobile. It's a gear that I can hold in my hand, and it basically keeps my iPhone steady. So even if I move, it actually counter moves basically, and makes it a lot smoother. So DJI Osmo Mobile, that's the third thing I highly recommend. And obviously lights, and these lights are not expensive, right? These are just simple lights of I think I bought them 5 or 6 years ago. It's insane, maybe even longer actually, and they were 20-30 euros each. So they're super cheap, but it's enough, right? It's enough. So that's number 4 I would highly recommend. If you we're doing this gradually. If you want to, it depends on how much you want to spend. If you want to spend one thing, get the lens, clip-on mic, DJI Osmo Mobile. The lights, obviously, depending on what room you're in. If you have enough natural light, right here, I got a window. If you're standing right here, you may not need it, but if it's darker, I have right here, definitely need it. A whiteboard and TV, not as necessarily, of course. What I also like to do is I like to put my iPhone on this one right here. So what I do normally, I would shoot my main video from this camera, and at the same time I'm using the iPhone, which I'm using for the recording right now, put it on from the side, and this way I got 2 angles, and this just makes it interesting because now you can sort of switch in between angles while editing, so people don't have to watch all the way like just me on the face, like makes it kind of boring, right? So if you have a second camera, like if you have a main camera and an iPhone, awesome, or any other phone, awesome. And by the way, if you don't have a fancy camera, even your iPhone would do it. I mean, I'm recording with an iPhone right now, and this thing is actually quite awesome as well for my sales videos. Like I can put an iPad right here, and it will actually show it in reverse, so that all the text that I want to show, my sales copy, will actually be like here, just like on the news, right? And that makes it really easy because I'm obviously not a native English speaker, and I just, I need that little bit of guidance every now and then. So I just put my iPad there with all the text, I upload it to Dropbox. It just plays while I do the video, and it works. It's awesome. And that's basically it. Like, there's not much fancy going on here. Like there's not. Obviously, you need a tripod if you want your camera to be steady. But that's all there is, right? I mean, I'm a bit of a nerd. Sometimes I get stuff for the videos that's just fun or but not really needed, right? So the most important thing is the lens, for sure. Immediately, it will stand out if you have a blurry background. I honestly believe that. So that's it for now. It's Wilco the Kreij here, coming from you from my home studio, and see you all soon.